traders, FXPIPCOLLECTOR here. Today is Monday, April 17th, and I hope everybody had a good weekend. Time to get back to work. Charts are back open. So Monday's usually a fairly slow day, so I thought it would be good to kind of change things up a little bit. We could do live streams on Monday, and that way we can do my Zoom meetings on Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to do live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So yeah, let's get started right away. Let me just check and make sure everything's all set, good to go. So yeah, as usual, we're going to start off by looking at the US dollar index and the DXY on the monthly time frame down, do the full top down analysis. Then we're going to take all that information and we're going to apply it to all the other US dollar pairs, including gold. And then I got a short list of things to get to, mostly yen pairs and a few stocks, a few indexes. So we're definitely going to get to that also, but as usual, the dollar pairs and probably the yen pairs are usually my highest priority when it comes to at least my own personal trading. So on the DXY monthly, I've been saying this for quite some time now, but with the breakup structure that we have here, there's definitely a possibility that this is the end of a trend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of wave C. If that is the end of a wave C, then this is going to go down and probably do something like this for a continuation of the downtrend. If it's not the end of a wave C, then we're probably going to see something more like this, which is a very similar shape until you get to about here, and then it turns back up and continues the uptrend. So whether this is an A or 1, whether it goes up next and makes a B or 2, doesn't really matter to us. The trading strategy is exactly the same whether it's an A or 1, whether it's a B or 2. It only really changes when we go down and make a wave C, or if it's a wave 3, it will just keep on trending down. So really at this point there's definitely no point in trying to worry ourselves about whether this is the end of a wave C or whether it's not the end of a wave C, because either way, just like I showed, it doesn't really matter whether it is or whether it isn't. So going down to the weekly, I do like to switch back to the US dollar index as soon as possible. We have what I think is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Like I said, this is a wave A or wave 1. Doesn't really matter that much to us. Now this move up, I was calling possibly at the end of a correction because of looking at other dollar pairs. I was thinking that maybe this has already ended a correction and maybe this move up is just going to be a correction to this last move down, and it was just going to keep on going down like that, which is definitely still a possibility. But I do see the possibility this is a wave B and that it goes up and makes a C, which would actually be a little bit more of a clear pattern if it went up and made an ABC and then ended up continuing the downtrend. So right now we have to look for evidence of that on the shorter time frames. Going down to the shorter time frames, the daily, now there's a few possibilities. Like I said, this is either an A, B, C, D, E, and it already ended a correction, and the fact that this move down looks like a trend, not a correction, does make me think there's a very good chance that this will continue down, and there's also a very good chance that it could just be a correction to this move down, and once that correction is over, it just ends up continuing the downtrend like a 1, a 2, and then a wave 3. Whether it's a 1, 2, 3 of 3, or whether it's a 1, 2, 3 of C, well, I guess we'll just have to watch and learn. So heading down to the 4-hour time frame. Now on the 4-hour time frame, it is starting to stretch out almost to the point where it doesn't look like a wave A anymore, but it's still within the parameters of possibly being a wave A. This first it definitely could still end up being a correction to just this last wave. If it is, then we're probably going to see some sort of a three-way pattern, maybe something like this. Probably bounce off. Really, the last chance it has is a 78%, and then end up continuing the downtrend. Now, let's zoom out a little bit so we can look at the other possibility, because the other possibility is that this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which it definitely looks like a complete trend, maybe even a 6 and a 7, and that this move up is actually just the beginning of a much bigger correction, and it ends up making a correction to this whole wave down. If it makes a correction to this whole wave down, it's actually going to be a much larger correction, because it would go someplace between the 38 and the 78% of this move down before it ended up continuing the downtrend. So, like I always say, we have a few possibilities, but if we pay attention to our structure, we pay attention to our patterns, usually we can pretty closely figure out what's going to happen next. Now, we did have a little bit of US dollar news a little while ago, and it did cause another push up on the US dollar, but to me it still looks like it's very close to ending this trend that started right here, either a wave A or possibly a wave 1. I still think it's more likely this is actually going to go down and make a B, and then either go up and make a C, turning at the 78% and continuing the downtrend, or possibly this is a 1, this is a 2, and it just keeps on going up for a wave 3. So, like I always say, there's definitely a few possibilities, but if we pay attention to our structure, pay attention to our patterns, we should be able to figure it out, especially on the longer time frames. So now that we kind of have this figured out, we know that it possibly could be a wave A or it possibly could be a wave 1, and that next we should get a wave B or possibly a wave 2. Then we can apply that information to all these other US dollar pairs and see if we can figure out what the most likely thing to happen next is on all those dollar pairs. So let's check out the euro dollar. So on the euro dollar, we'll switch back to the daily time frame. And we'll just do the daily time frame down on all the dollar pairs instead of doing the full top down. And if you do want to see the full monthly top down analysis, then just watch my daily videos I put out every weekday. But on the daily, I still think there's a good chance this right here is a 1, there's an A, B, C right there, most likely a 2. And this really does not look like a complete trend to me. And looking at all the dollar pairs, I pretty much came to the same conclusion that most likely this move down is just going to be a correction. It may not even make a lower high, or it may just end up making another higher low and just keep on going down up like that. All part of what I think could end up still being a big wave 3. So let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. So 4-hour time frame, we're definitely still in either a wave A or possibly a wave C, and it looks to me like this is all one section of downtrend. It still seems to me like it needs to go up, just like I forecasted in my video this morning, for like a wave B and then probably down again for a wave C. If it makes some sort of a 3-wave pattern, kind of like this back here, 3 waves down, you know, something along those lines, and then bounces off a Fibonacci level with an impulsive move up, taking out structure, that is what I want to see for my entry to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. Now, I need to see something like that. I need to see an impulsive move up. I need to see a break of structure at a Fibonacci level, because like I was showing on the dollar index, there's always a possibility this could grow into like a much bigger correction, something like that, and then maybe go up and make a B and then make a wave C. So if it does grow into a bigger correction, that's why I do need yeah, we're going to look at gold, definitely. So that's why I do need to see some sort of confirmation that this is the end of an ABC with an impulsive move up at a Fibonacci level, and even a structure break would actually give me even more confirmation that it really is over. Going down to the 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame still looks to me like this is all one trend. Kind of looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shape for sure. I think we're just about finished with the wave A. We're probably going to go up next and make a wave B, and I do still think we're going to either go down and make a C, maybe to one of these 2 Fibonacci levels, impulsive move up, take out structure, and that's going to be the entry I'm looking for the continuation of the uptrend. So right now it still looks like we're in a wave A or possibly a wave 1. It has been no break of structure up yet, so we can't even really say for sure that this wave A is over yet. It always could continue to drift down, but the way it looks with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shape, I do think we're getting close to this wave A or possibly the wave 1. So let's look at other dollar pairs. Let's switch to the pound dollar. So pound dollar, very similar to the euro dollar lately. I still think this first move up right here is probably a 1. I think this is an A, B, C, most likely a 2. And I still think this move up is a wave 3. Now, just like the other one, we have not taken out any structure down yet. And even if we do take out structure, I just think it's going to be a correction to the whole trend, not just the last wave of the trend. If you follow me, closely, you probably know what I mean by that. And even if it does take out structure, it's still probably going to be a correction, and it's still probably going to end up continuing the uptrend, all part of a wave 3. So taking it down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, this is definitely all one sensitive trend going down right there. Looks like it's a wave A. It does look like it's getting ready to go up, most likely for a B, and then probably eventually back down again for a C. Like I said, especially with how it already went down to the 78%, it probably is going to go down and break structure, but even if it does, I think that's still going to be a correction, and I still think it's more likely to just keep on going up. So, like I was showing before, there's definitely a possibility it could do something like this and be like a big wave A and then make a bigger wave B and then a big wave C, and that would be a correction to this whole uptrend from here to here, which means it could go anywhere between 38 and 78% of this move up right here. So there's definitely a little bit of a difference between the two patterns. I think either way it's going to be an ABC. It's just a matter of how big this ABC turns out to be. Going down to the Aussie dollar on the daily. Now the Aussie has been so weak and the Kiwi have been so weak to the downside. I definitely would not be looking to go long on the Aussie or the Kiwi just because of how weak they have been. Yeah, we'll look at natural gas for you, buddy. No problem. So natural gas. He is a YouTube member, and that's why I make sure I get the people who are paying members. I make sure I look at what they want. But on the daily, this right here is the last swing low. This move down is pretty strong, but it definitely hasn't broken any lows yet. I still think this is going to go up and do something like that, and most likely be a big wave C, like I've been showing on my top-down forecast videos that I do every day. So going down to the 4-hour time frame, I still think there's a very good likelihood this is going to be some sort of an ABC correction. Definitely one impulsive move down, looks like an A. It looks like it needs to go up for a B, and it looks like it probably will go down for a C. Some sort of a three-way pattern is what I expect to see. Maybe bounce out to 61, retest that, or maybe go down to the 78, break structure, and most likely keep going up. So anyways, let's hold on a second here. This guy, let's see. So there we go. So anyways, I'm pretty sure this is going to be an ABC correction, and I do believe that after this correction is over, it most likely is going to continue the uptrend. So let's take it down to the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, this is definitely looks to me like one nice little downtrend, most likely a wave A. I still think this is going up for a wave B, and I still expect it to go down for a wave C. Either retest this level or go down to the 78% to finish a C before it makes an impulsive move up and continues that uptrend. And the Kiwi dollar is very similar to the Aussie dollar as usual. Go up to the daily time frame. Now this one did break structure down, but I think there's a good chance that is a wave C. It looks to me still like this is just a very flat uptrend, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is probably an ABC, and once that's over, it probably is going to just keep on trending up. So let's head down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, let's see, I was kind of wondering because this one looks like it's already in a wave C. So I was actually kind of wondering about this one maybe possibly being this count right here. I do think it is very likely. So if that is the case, if it goes up and breaks structure, that's probably going to be the end of a wave C, and it probably will just keep on trending up like that. And the Aussie dollar will probably do something very similar to that. So let's head down to the 1-hour time frame. So 1-hour time frame, really the key is this an ABC right there. It definitely looks a little bit like a trend, but it definitely could be a wave B. And this looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of possibly C. So if it does go up, if it does take out structure, that should prove that that wave C is over. If that wave C really is over, then this probably is going to end up continuing the uptrend. So like I was saying a few minutes ago, I'm not really sure if I would really pick the Aussie or the Kiwi to go long on, but if they do break structure, I do still think that the Aussie and the Kiwi are going to find some strength somewhere, so they probably are going to be some pretty decent trades if they do what they should do. So US dollar Canadian is one that I'm definitely stocking. I've been short on this a couple times since this top. I'm not in it anymore, but I'm definitely looking for another entry. The last lower high is way up there, so unless it breaks that high, the trend is definitely down. I still think this is going to be a crutch into this move down, and eventually it'll keep on going. I think, well, we're in a 1, a 2, and a wave 3 of wave C. So let's take it down even more to the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, 4-hour time frame. I think we're probably gonna be due for a bigger correction, but we'll see. I guess we could leave that there for now, but I do see the possibility this is gonna be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A, and then it makes a B, and then it makes a C. But looking at other dollar pairs, they might do something similar to that also. But right now, we do have 3 waves up, so if it does like respect to 38%, make an impulsive turn, we may as well go short because the trend is definitely down and we want to be trading with the trend. So going short is definitely the way to go on this. I'm definitely still looking for shorts in a downtrend. Now going up to the 1-hour time frame, this is where I'm thinking that this possibly could be a 1, and this could be 3 waves down for a 2, and it could keep going up for like a 3, 4, 5 of A, which I do think is actually pretty likely. And that this is probably not an A, B, C, it's probably actually only an A, and then it goes down and makes a B, and then it probably goes up again to make a C, and then bounces off a fib level before it actually ends up continuing the downtrend. So that does seem pretty likely, especially with the fact that it's pushing through the Fibonacci level. So that was actually an extremely clear entry too. It was impulsive up with breaks of structure and then 3 waves down, almost a perfect 3-way pattern. Impulsive up, very, very clear entry today, and there hasn't been any exit yet, so you could definitely still be long on this one pretty easily. US dollar Swiss is actually quite convincing about that also. It probably is going up in a little bit of a bigger way. It does look like an ABC, but it really on the higher time frames it looks like it's just starting its correction. This looks like a correction that's just starting like an A, B, C, and then it makes a lower high, and just keeps on going down. So that probably is what's actually more likely to happen. Going down here, it still does have 3 waves, but I'm thinking it's only a wave A, so I'll get rid of that for now. This is more of a shape of a trend, probably a wave A. Then it'll probably go down for a B, and then eventually back up for a C. Unless it takes out this structure right here, the trend is definitely still down. I'm still looking at this move up as possibly being a correction to this last wave down. If it turns at a Fibonacci level, takes out structure, then that's definitely going to be the entry that I'm looking for the continuation of the downtrend. So now we got the US dollar Swiss. Let's head down to the 1-hour time frame. This is another entry that was a very, very clear. We got impulsive up. We got a very clear 3 waves down, then impulsive up. You could have gone long at the end of that candle, or you could have gone to a shorter time frame and looked for the pullback entry. But it's very, very clear. And it's probably not over. It's probably going to stretch out and eventually look something like this for like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I bet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of wave A. Eventually making that way B, and probably eventually going back up for a C, probably something along these lines. Maybe the 78% or maybe the 68% would be the most likely place for this to turn before we actually head back down. So let's head down to the US dollar yen. Now the US dollar yen, like I've been saying for a while, a part of this pattern is caused by the yen, but today's strength is actually more of a dollar thing. Now I still see the possibility this is an ABC, and the fact that this move down looks more like a trend than a correction still makes me think that this move up is a correction to this last move down. We got our Fibonacci here. It kind of looks like an ABCDE. I would expect it to go up to like the 61.8, maybe the 78.6, and then make an impulsive turn. If you see an impulsive turn, then I would almost guarantee that's the end of a correction and a very nice entry to go short. So taking it down, that was the 18 hours, so right here's the same thing, daily, A, B, C, D, E, and then lower high, and most likely just end up continuing the downtrend. So now let's take it down to the 4-hour. 4-hour time frame is where you can actually start to break this correction down a little bit. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. This move down is more like a trend, but it probably is a B. And this right here is an uptrend for the C. 3 waves down for the D. That right there would have been an entry to go short for me because it was 3 waves up. But then as when I went short, I would have noticed that it made 3 waves down with an impulsive move up. Probably would have got out with a break-even trade or maybe a tiny profit. But still, I would have actually probably not even gone long. I would have waited for this wave E to play out, maybe test this one, or maybe go up to there. Break structure to the downside, showing me that trend for the wave E is over, and most likely that's going to be a very good entry to go short. So I'm definitely checking out all these dollar pairs to see if they do make a nice short entry. Now let's see what we have for news this week on the US dollar. We had some news today, but what is going to cause this US dollar to go down? Yeah, we got manufacturing, we got that Wallace speaking, that's not really existing homes, not really anything. We got a whole bunch of PMI news at the later part of the week, so maybe that'll be it. Not really a whole lot of dollar news this week. We got some CPI for the pound, CPI for the Canadian, and retail sales for the pound, so we got really other news besides the dollar news to look out for this week. So, heading down to gold. Now, gold is definitely pretty interesting for sure. Now, one thing that's really interesting about gold is we're very close to making all-time highs. These right here are all-time highs on gold. We are definitely a little bit of a lower high right now, but I still think there's a very good likelihood this move down is going to be a correction. Maybe it will be a correction to the whole move up, do something like that, and then go up. Now, one thing you have to see on gold is, let me squish this down a little. So what I have here is my Fibonacci extension measuring the wave 1, projecting off the bottom of wave 2. If this really is a wave 3 like I suspect it is, then a wave 3 needs to go beyond 100% of wave 1 because a wave 3 needs to be bigger than a wave 1. So that's probably going to end up looking something like that, making like a 4 or 5. I still predict that gold is going to go up at least to the $22, maybe $2,300 area to finish off this move up. And the Fibonacci extension kind of helps confirm that. But that doesn't mean that we're not due for a correction on the sort of time frames. On the daily, we still haven't taken out any structure, so the trend is definitely still 100% up. But the more I look at it, the more I think it probably is going to end up taking out structure and doing something like that. Maybe this is like a 1, and then it makes a 2, and then it goes up for a wave 3. So that does seem like it's fairly likely that it's going to make a little bit of a bigger move down. Now, on the 4 hour, I was kind of looking at this as possibly being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A, because that's definitely a trend. This move up right here, I could definitely make out to be 3 waves. Makes me think that it's a B, like an irregular top or an irregular wave B. And if that's the case, then that means that when this downtrend right here is over, then that possibly would be the end of a correction, and it might just end up making another higher low, and it very easily could just keep on going up. But we do have to remember this line right here represents all-time highs on gold, so I would almost guarantee it's going to be pretty volatile as it goes up. Now, going down to the 1 hour, like I said, this definitely looks like to me 1, 2, 3 waves up. This is definitely a downtrend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like an A, it looks like a B, and it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of wave C. So if this does turn up, if it does take out structure, that is pretty much going to confirm to me that that is the end of a wave C, and that's going to be the entry that I'm looking for the continuation of the uptrend. Like I said, like I always say, I'm definitely not going to go long until I see like a break of structure, and then maybe even wait for a pullback after that break of structure for a much safer entry to go long. But the reason why I like to wait is because if we don't have proof that this is over, and looking at the longer time frames, there's always a chance it could just keep on going down. So we don't want to go long until we see a break of structure, and then maybe even see like a pullback, and at the end of that first pullback would be where I was looking for my next long. So we got some yen pairs to look at. We got a lot of my members requested yen pairs today, so let's take a look at some yen pairs and see what's going on. Ooh, we are about to break some structure, so that's actually a good sign that we're probably due for a bigger pullback. Now these yen pairs I think are in a wave 3. I definitely think this is a 1, 2, 3, and just like what I was showing on gold, if this is a wave 3, then a wave 3 needs to go beyond the 100% Fibonacci extension of wave 1 projected out the bottom of wave 2. So that means that we probably are going to end up looking something like this at least, taking out these highs and probably look like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up. So, if that's the case, let's head down to the 4-hour time frame. So if what we just saw in the longer time frames is true, that means anything we see down here, any counter trend moves that we see are just going to be corrections to the move up, and they're probably just going to continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So I'm definitely still looking for longs on all of the yen pairs. But I do have to realize that maybe we're due for a bigger correction. It already made 3 waves down, so it's all definitely possible it just keeps drifting up. Let's go down a little bit further to the 15-minute. Is that possibly already an ABC correction? I don't really think it is. I think it's probably due for a bigger move than that. It's probably, in hindsight, we're probably going to look at this later and see something like this for like an ABC like this. So that we probably are going to end up making a little bit of a bigger correction, but the trend is definitely still up. We definitely don't have any break of structure down yet. So if I see some sort of a 3-way pattern, I see an impulsive move up. If I see a break of structure, even if it looks something like this, then I'm definitely going to be looking for a long to go for the continuation of that big uptrend on the longer time frames. And the pound yen. Pound yen is definitely not as strong up as the euro yen because of the euro strength, but just like the other one, if this is a wave 3, then it needs to go beyond 100%. I think it's going to take out this high. I think it's going to end up looking something like this, eventually making a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, probably all the way up to one of these higher Fibonacci levels. So now let's take that down to the 4-hour. So 4-hour time frame, it kind of looks to me like this is an A. It looks to me like this is 3 waves up for a B, and it looks like I bet it's going to go down again for a C. I bet it's going to go down to one of these Fibonacci levels, making a positive move up, breaking structure, and most likely just keep on trending up from there. So I still think that, like I said, that all these yen pairs will end up continuing up. So let's see, where's the wave A? Probably the wave A is right there. And then this is probably an A. This is 3 waves down for a B. And this is probably going up now for wave C of wave B. I bet it's going to go down again. We just barely covered the euro yen. I think it's going to go. I think the euro yen is going down, but I think it's going to be a correction to the move up, very similar to pound yen. Probably down to one of these Fibonacci levels, take out structure, and end up continuing the uptrend. So that definitely looks like what I think is going on. It looks like it's getting ready to end at wave B right now. If it goes down and takes out this structure like that, I would say that we're going down for a wave C, and a wave C is definitely a pretty tradable entry, so that could be a pretty decent little trade. It's a counter trend trade, so definitely enter with caution, but that's definitely what it looks like. Yeah, I bet the euro yen is going to go down further also. And let's see, the Aussie yen, yeah, that definitely looks like a wave B. It's going to go down for a C. That one actually looks a little bit different, but that's because of the Kiwi weakness. So, the Canadian. One thing we need to do when we're looking to try to figure out these pairs, the count on these pairs, is we need to look for clarity. Right now, the daily time frame is very clear that this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think we're going to have an end of a trend signal on the daily, which means price will take out this high and probably go a lot further. It's probably going to be like a 1, 2, 3, and take out that high, and like I said, go a lot further than that. So whatever we see on the shorter time frames is probably just a correction to the uptrend. So on the 4-hour time frame, we're looking for 3-way pullbacks. So if we see a 3-way pullback, we see an impulsive move up, that's definitely the entry I'm looking for the continuation of the uptrend. Now I'm sure there'll be some pullbacks around this high right here. That's a pretty important swing level, so we definitely need to pay attention to that. But I do think that pretty much anything that happens on these shorter time frames is just going to be a correction to the uptrend. Ooh, it kind of looks like it's already trying to go up. I don't know, maybe that's more of a Canadian thing. I already see 3 waves there, but honestly, if the other yen pairs are going to go down, this one's probably going to go down too, and make more of a proper ABC like this. But the trend is definitely still up, and it definitely could just keep on going up. It definitely made a little bit of a three-way pattern already. Yeah. A little ABC right there. Man, that definitely looks like it could just keep on going up for sure. Looking at other yen pairs, the other yen pairs look like they want to go down. So, like I said, this is probably going to go down also. But it definitely kind of looks like it could be like an A, a B, a C, and then I bet this is going to fail, meaning it'll be a wave D and then probably go down, not for a C, but for a wave E. Probably be an A, B, C, D, E correction. So let's see here. We got pretty much all the yen pairs. The Swiss yen has been one that I've really been enjoying because of this uptrend. Look at the uptrend that we've been getting. And this one looks very extinguished also, like it is going to go down and make a bigger correction before it goes up. Same thing with the Aussie yen. Nah, I don't really... Like I said, any Aussie pairs and any Kiwi pairs I would not be looking for longs on just because of how weak they've been. If you're looking for shorts, then the Aussie and the Kiwi are probably the way to go, but honestly it probably will end up continuing up just like the other ones. The Aussie has actually found a little bit of strength lately compared to the Kiwi, that is. So let's go look at the Euro Canadian because that was requested by one of my Patreon members. And if you haven't done so already, definitely join my free Discord. It's 100% free to join. You don't have to pay a dime if you do not want to. So definitely check that out. We have over 3,000 members now, and we're all willing to help each other out. And I also just finished my course recently, which is available to all the gold Patreon members or gold Discord members, so definitely check that out also. It comes with my members forecasts, it comes with a course, and it comes with a ton of educational information and access to my private channels on Discord, so definitely check that out. You get a lot for your money, so definitely give it a look. What's going on with this one? That definitely looks like it just ended a wave 2, doesn't it? You gotta look at it on the weekly. So it really looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bet this is going down and eventually going to take out this low. It's probably going to go down and do something like this. Probably some sort of an ABC. And then head up, take out structure, and probably continue the uptrend. But it definitely looks like it's going down right now. Probably a wave A. Look at that. That's actually very clear. 1, 3 waves up. 2. That was an entry to go short couple days ago, and we're probably going to go down and make like a 3, 4, 5 type shape, maybe even take out the low of wave 4 just for the wave A. Pretty nice entry. When did that happen? That happened on the 13th. When was the 13th? Let's see, the 13th was Thursday. So yeah, last Thursday there was a very clear entry. Break of structure probably didn't happen until Friday, but Thursday, Friday, that would have been an awesome entry to go short. Nice clear downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, impulsive up, wave A. Very clear 3 waves down, that's very clear also. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, wave C. Impulsive down, break of structure, proves that the correction is over. It may make some pullbacks, but I bet it's going down now for a 1, a 2, and a wave 3, which is probably going to be a wave A based on the weekly time frame, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A, but definitely looks pretty clear. So I would for sure be looking for shorts. It kind of looks like it's preparing to make a bigger correction because of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shape, but just because we see 5 waves does not mean that the trend is over. It very easily could just keep on drifting down. So unless it takes out this structure, the trend is definitely still down on these sort of time frames, 100%. So let's see here. I think let me just check my Discord, see if there's any more requests. We got the pound Aussie, the Kiwi Canadian. Let me write these down. The Kiwi CAD and the pound Aussie. And Bitcoin. So let's keep going then. Might as well just keep doing Forex pairs, and then we'll switch over to the indexes, natural gas, and Bitcoin after we finish with Forex pairs. So what do we got next? Let's go to the Kiwi Canadian. I'm sure it's down pretty strong because of how weak the Canadian has been. So what do we have going on with this thing? Let's head back up to a little bit of a longer time frame. Ooh, that definitely wasn't the end of a Kretzen, was it? I still think it's going to have to be a Kretzen because I would say there's almost... That right there is such a strong move up. I would say that you can almost guarantee this move down as a Kretzen. But at this point, it's probably going to go at least to the 50, maybe 61.8, or even the 78.6. And it probably is actually quite a ways from being over. Maybe something like that is what it's eventually going to look like, which is probably several months off into the future. So yeah, whew, what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that a wave A? 3 waves up. Wave B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave C. If you entered at the end of that wave C, which I definitely would have taken that entry, ABC down, right at a Fibonacci level, impulsive up. And then what happened is it made a corrective pattern up and an impulsive turn. If that was the end of a Kretzen, it would have just kept on going. So what does that mean? That means it's probably a wave D. And now we're probably going down for 1, 2, 3. We're in a wave 3 of wave E. Probably a 3, 4, 5 of wave E is what I would expect now. Maybe the 50, maybe the 61. Impulsive turn up, break of structure, and then continue the uptrend. Looks pretty clear. Let's give it a that. That's an old Fibonacci level. So most likely we ended a wave D someplace up in here. And we're in a wave E. Probably there's like a 1. I bet that's right there where it starts, like a 1. 3 waves up for the 2. And this is all one section of trend still. We're still in a wave 3. Probably eventually it will go up and make a 4 and then back down again to make a 5. And then if it breaks structure, that would probably be the end of a trend for the wave E and a nice entry to go long. But like I said, this could be several weeks out before we have the end of a wave E. So because of that, if I do see like a pullback, if I do see a impulsive move down, then that's definitely going to be an entry to go short. 3 waves up, impulsive down is always an entry to go short if the longer time frames tell me that the trend is down, which they are definitely doing so right now. So right now the trading strategy is to either be short from way back here or to be waiting for another sorting opportunity for the continuation of the downtrend. So definitely pretty nice. I definitely wouldn't be trying to go short now because it looks like it's almost at the end of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's probably more likely to go up to make a Kretzen to this and then go down again. So I definitely wouldn't be trying to go short now. I would have to wait for a pullback, but it does look like it's coming. Ooh, look at that. 3 waves up, impulsive down. Ooh. Anybody know what that means? Hopefully. It's definitely a counter trend move though. And it looks like it's probably in a wave A, like something like this is probably going to be what happens, probably an A, B, C. So it probably is going to make a Kretzen, probably to this whole move up. Maybe this is already a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shape, and we're now going down for like a 1, and then going down for a 2, and then back up for a 3. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, and it's probably going to make a 1, 2, 3 of 3. So let's head down to the 4 hour. Ooh, maybe that is going to be it. It's already pulling back. It's not looking as, on the 1 hour it looked good, but on the higher time frames it doesn't look as desirable. But it definitely looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably a wave A. Maybe this is a wave B right here. That probably is what it is, and it probably is going to go down to make like a wave C. If it makes a higher low and turns out at a fib level after 3 waves down, breaks structure, then I would definitely take that as a long opportunity. But depending on what time frames you trade on, I think on the shorter time frames you may be getting a sorting opportunity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably a wave A. Impulsive up, corrective down, 3 waves down, impulsive up. It looks like an ABC correction right there. Probably a wave B. A, B, C, or B. I bet that's gonna go down now to maybe to 78, or maybe retest to 61 to make a wave C before it actually ends up continuing the uptrend. So that does look pretty clear. It looks pretty nice indeed. Like I said, it's definitely a counter trend move, so it depends on what time frames you trade on. If you trade on like the 1 hour and under, that's probably going to be a pretty nice sort. If you trade above the 1 hour, you're probably waiting. Hey, Vicky, how's it going? We're about to switch over to natural gas and oil, so probably good timing for you. Natural gas was already requested by someone by Henwitz, so we're gonna look at that, and we're probably gonna look at oil also. Ooh, look at oil, man. So oil, you really have to go to the weekly to understand this story because it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Natural gas, wow, 8%. Awesome. You must be going long. I haven't looked at natural gas, but I think it's going up from what other people have said. Looks like we're going up for a wave A. Looks like we're going to go down for a B, and we're probably going to go up for a C. Probably an A, B, C, a B, and then probably go down again. So I think we're going up for wave A, and I think this wave A will take out the high of wave 4. So going down to the daily, we have a break of structure. We got a nice uptrend. So far, there's no reason to think that trend is over. If it continues to make higher lows, which I kind of think it will, because I think it's going up for a wave A or B, which usually a wave A or B will take out the high of wave 4. So that probably is going to be what's most likely to happen there. Going down to the 4 hour. 4 hour time frame, that's looking pretty tempting for me. I don't even normally trade oil, but that does look pretty tempting. 3 ways down to the 38%. If that makes a nice enough impulsive move up, we'll have to look on the 1 hour for a break of structure, maybe even the 15-minute, but that's looking like it's really close to going up. You would think that it would be due for a bigger correction, but like I said, just because we see like something that kind of looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 does not mean that it's over. So I definitely don't see any reason to think it's over, and it very easily could just keep going up. If it does start going down more and taking out structure, then it's probably still going to go up. It's just going to be a bigger correction. Let's see, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave A. This is looking clear. 1, 2, 3 up. Wave B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Wave C. We're going to have to go a little bit shorter to see if there's going to be a break of structure, because that's getting very close to ending a correction, I think. So where is the structure we would want to see? Probably right here. So until it takes out that structure, we can't really say much, but it definitely looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type shape. It looks very, very, very close to ending a correction for sure. So let's go look at natural gas. Oh, look at that. Look at that gap that thing made over the weekend, must be, huh? That's a big gap right there. Ooh, that's it, isn't it? We're going into that big wave 4. Nice. And if you got in way down here someplace, then I would probably hold that to at least one of these 2 Fibonacci levels. God, you could turn that 8% into 30% or something pretty easily if you hold on to it. Because this really looks to me like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably a 1. A, B, C up, probably a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably a 3. There's really no confirmation that the 3 is over besides this impulsive move up, which has not really taken out structure on the daily yet, but I bet we're going up to make a 4, which would most likely go to one of these 2 Fibonacci levels, and then go down and make a 5. And then we would have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice. We got a few people long on this. I've been tempting to trade this also just because of how nice these trends are. Very nice trends. There was a ton of money to be made on the way down right here on every single one of these pullbacks. And now if we're going up longer term, then I'm sure there's going to be a ton of pullbacks on the way up too. So there's going to be a ton of entries on the way up too, probably. So if this is the end of a wave 5, which it does look like it is, yeah, get in on those pullbacks, definitely. So really, yeah, like I said, there's probably going to be plenty of pullbacks, but if this is the beginning of a wave 4, then that means we're in a wave A, and a wave A probably will take out the high of this wave 4. So that means it's probably going to eventually look something like this. Maybe not quite like that, but something pretty similar to that for a wave A of wave 4. So we may have a long ways to go to the upside. A real long ways. Yeah, that's a big gap, which it probably will fill that gap eventually, but maybe not for a while. Yeah, look at that, 3 waves down right there. Ooh, that was a beautiful entry. That happened today too, a few hours ago. What's that? Yeah, that was that must have happened at the that must have happened at the news that we had today for the US dollar. Pretty sweet. Yeah, that might almost be one of the clearest entries of the day. Yeah, not the clearest correction, I guess, but it definitely is 3 waves down. Positive up, break of structure, and then it pulled back. It's pretty clear. Doesn't really look like it's over yet either. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's going to make some pullbacks along the way, but I'm sure that that's actually very good for us. I don't think they're going to fill it now. I think what they'll do is maybe like weeks from now, if we zoom way out, like several weeks from now, maybe even several months from now, this probably will get filled, because I do think it's going to be like an A, B, C of 4, and then it will probably eventually come back down to make a 5, and this will be a 3, 4, 5 on the higher time frames. So eventually it probably will fill, but probably not anytime soon, that's for sure. Awesome. Some good trades on that natural gas for sure. Whoops, crossed out the wrong pair, so I gotta make sure we look at the NASDAQ. I meant to cross out natural gas, and I crossed out NASDAQ, but we'll still look at it. So let's look at Bitcoin next. Still going up. At this point, I think it's going up more than it is right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is probably going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type thing also, like a wave A. So I think that this is definitely still going up. Don't see any reason to think otherwise. It is going down, but it's probably just going to be a correction to this trend right here. Probably A, B, C, and then back up. So let's go down to the 1 hour and throw a Fibonacci on there and see if we can find a likely place for a turnaround. Now I'm putting it on here because that's where the last trend is. This is definitely where the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is. This is probably a wave A, and I bet it's getting close to being finished with the wave A. Probably go up and make a B type thing and a C. Now we do have to realize that Bitcoin does make some drawn out corrections like this over here. Bitcoin really does have a tendency to make some really drawn out big corrections like that last. But some of them are definitely 3 waves. That's like 3 waves right there. So if we see 3 waves up and then an impulsive down, it may be a wave B, but it definitely would be a decent sort for an ABC. But I think overall, on the much longer time frames, the trend is definitely still up. So I would definitely still be looking for longs, but depending on where you're trading, if you're looking for more short-term trades, if I saw something like this, I would definitely take that as a sorting. Probably at least to the 61, maybe retest the 50, but probably more likely to 61 because of all this area back here that lines up with the 61.8. So these tops, I bet, are going to become a bottom. So a top becomes a bottom. So yeah, I definitely think that we'll probably make some sort of a 3-way pattern down to the 61% and then probably go up from there based on the longer time frames. That seems very likely. Let's see, we got some indexes to look at. So I got to go to my stocks and the US 30 and NASDAQ. I think that they're still going to keep drifting up. Definitely. I think this is going to continue to drift up. Probably to, I would guess the 61 would be the most likely. That kind of lines up with a lot of area back here too. And I think it's going to take out this high because this looks like an A, this looks like a B, And I think we're in a wave C, so I think it will take out this high right here. And the next support level with Fibonacci is at the 61.8, so that's probably going to be the most likely place for this to end in A, B, C, or B, and then probably head back down. I definitely think that we're going to end up heading down probably in the later part of the summer, in probably a big way on pretty much all these indexes. So, if that's true, that means that we definitely want to be looking for long entries on these sort of time frames. We're going long here, there, there, and there. So we're definitely looking for longs on these sort of time frames for sure. Ooh, it looks like a wave B. Impulsive down, break of structure, wave A. Oops, pullback, 3 waves up, wave B. Now I bet we're going to go down and make a C. Probably going to make a higher low, I bet. You notice that pretty much all these are higher lows. That one went down a little bit further, but basically they're all higher lows the whole way up. So I'm definitely very bullish on this one. Nasdaq, I would imagine, is the same thing. It's definitely a little different, but it's different, but it's the same, if that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave A. Let's see, what do we got here? Maybe an A, B, C, D, E, maybe? Maybe it'll go up to the 50. I think just like the other ones, it's going to go up to one of these 2 fib levels and probably end up continuing down. Probably some sort of a wave B and then go down for a wave C. So pretty much I'm thinking pretty much exactly the same thing on all of these. Ooh, look at that. That was cleared out too. 1, 2, 3 waves down. That was a very clear end of a correction, probably last week on Thursday or Friday. So it's probably going to break out of here and probably keep on going up. Look at that. That's a very clear correction too. 1, 2, 3 waves down. Right there, 3 waves up. Nice clear sort. Right there, 3 waves up. Right here, 3 waves up. Right there, 3 waves down. Very clear entries. Even right there is 3 waves down. Nice. 1 hour time frame. What do we got? 1, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 3. So A, 1, 2, 3 a B, and C. A, look at this one too. 3 waves up, B, and C. A, B, C. Even right there at the 15 minutes I can tell that's an ABC. So pretty awesome right there, ABC. Right here is probably an ABC. And probably on like the 5-minute time frame, I bet there's a little ABC right there that's going to end up continuing up. So pretty clear entries for sure. Pretty nice. Let's see if the S&P 500 agrees. It's almost exactly the same as the Nasdaq. Yeah, I think that's exactly the same thing. It's going up. A, B, C down. Up. Yeah, not really a very clear ABC there. I guess right there is 3 waves. Probably right here is supposed to be 3 waves with an irregular wave B. 3 waves, 3 waves, 3 waves, and 3 waves. Probably on the 15 to 5-minute time frame, every one of those pullbacks is 3 waves also. So like I always say, trading doesn't really necessarily have to be difficult, but it is very repetitive. You're looking for the same thing day in and day out. You're doing the same thing day in and day out. So if anybody is interested in learning my exact strategy and participating in my course that I just created, then the link for that is in the chat and the description. You have to be a gold Patreon member or a gold Discord member to join. And like I said, it gets you access to my members' forecasts, it gets you access to all my educational informations, the private chats, and we do Zoom meetings twice a week on Tuesday and on Thursday. So you definitely get a lot for your money for sure. Let's switch back to the dollar pairs. Let me check real quick, see if there's any more requests before I do. Near, N-E-A-R, Diceagram? I don't think I've ever even heard of that. I've never heard of Near, but I'm definitely not a crypto trader, so that probably is why. Are you still there, Wiki? If you're still there, I'll look at it for you. If you're not, then I'll probably skip it. Let's see, I wonder which ones he's looking at. Probably this one, Crypto Cap. I don't know if it's still here or not, but we'll give it a quick look. Ooh, it looks like an ABC. That's probably why she wanted me to look. It's kind of similar to Bitcoin, isn't it, though? Kind of looks like this one has actually already made an A and a B, though. It kind of looks like we're going up for like a wave C. Probably an A, B, C, or B, I bet. Oops, let's clear that out. 4 hour. Definitely looks like we just ended a correction. We gotta go to the 1 hour to see it, but look at that. That's actually very clear. 3 waves down, impulsive up. Even this right there, 3 waves down, 3 waves down. So this strategy is pretty much works on every single asset, cryptocurrencies, stocks, as you just saw. I looked at some indexes, cryptocurrency, definitely Forex. It works on pretty much everything. So it definitely looks like 3 waves down. And we definitely do have a break of structure, which is a good sign that this is probably going to keep on going up. No reason as of yet to think it's over, that's for sure. So, might as well go back and look at some dollar pairs. If you were thinking that it looks like the end of a correction, then I do agree with you. It definitely does look like the end of a correction. So, I don't even think she's here anymore, so we'll move on, but so you can watch the recording later and check it out. Yeah, that is going. That's probably still a wave A. And it's probably not even really close to over. It's probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. Eventually it'll make a B, and I bet it will go down and break structure for a C, and then probably head up in a big way. So I think these corrections are going to be a little bigger than we expect. Maybe end up looking something like this. Because we're definitely still going down for sure. No doubt about that. Like I said, it looks like a 1, 2, 3 of wave A, and the wave 3 doesn't even really look like it's over. Yeah, that's still going down too. Probably eventually we will go up and make a B and then back down again for a C, but so far we're still in a wave A, it looks like. And really no sign of that wave A even being over yet, so we're still definitely looking for shorts. Especially if you're a scalper, I would definitely still be looking for shorts. The Aussie, I bet, is still going. Yeah, the Aussie's not as weak as I thought it would be. Probably similar, though. It's probably eventually going to go up for a B and down again for a C, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it did go down and break structure. Ugh, the Kiwi is headed. I bet it's still going to end up doing something like that, and it still possibly is a wave C on the longer time frames. So definitely still going down now. There's definitely no end of a trend. There's no break of structure. There's really no reason to think it's over. This is also possibly an ABC, but looking at other dollar pairs, it's probably actually still a wave A. This is probably only a wave A right here. It's probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A, and then go down for B, and then back up for C, and then eventually, maybe later part of the week, go down for the continuation of the downtrend. Like I said, this US dollar Swiss is one that I've been short on a few times in the past, and I'm not in it now, but I'm definitely waiting for another short opportunity for the continuation of the downtrend. US dollar Swiss is probably, yeah, that's definitely in a wave 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. Eventually go down and make a B, and probably eventually back up for C. And then go down and continue the downtrend. And I wouldn't be surprised if it broke structure. It definitely could. Yeah, US dollar yen is still headed up. That could still be a wave E, so definitely keep an eye on it. If it turns at that 61%, then it could definitely be a wave E. It might be more of a yen thing if it does turn. So I'm still looking at this as possibly being an ABCDE. Oops, I want to be on the 1 hour. And if it is an ABCDE, then it will turn at one of these fibs, break structure to the downside, and most likely just keep on trending down. So that definitely looks still very likely to be a wave E. But until I actually see it turn down like that, especially if you are a scalper, I would just continue to look for longs on shorter time frames because I don't think that move up is over yet. And gold is still heading down. For sure, it never broke structure. It probably is going to go down and take out that low because that's what happens in a wave C most of the time. So it probably is going to end up looking something like that. Maybe tomorrow or Wednesday is when it will break structure and maybe end up continuing the uptrend, unless we're due for a much bigger correction on the longer time frames, which we definitely may be. And like I was saying at the beginning of this live stream, we're very, very close to all-time highs. And since we're very close to all-time highs, I do see that this is very likely to actually make a bigger correction like that and then go up. I still think it's going to go up, but it may possibly be a few weeks before it actually does go up, unless this really is a wave C on the 1 hour, which if it does something like this, I will definitely go long, and then I'll learn whether whether it continues the uptrend. While I'm long, I'll learn and earn at the same time, or I'll learn and earn that it's a ABC, and I'll get out with hopefully some profit, and maybe even go short again. So, just play those waves. Just ride the waves up, ride the waves down, and just keep on going with the flow. That's pretty much all we can do. The problem that I always say with Elliott Wave is the problem is that it's very, very discretionary. One Elliott Wave trader can have a completely different count on the exact same pair, and they can both be making money, especially if they know how to go with the flow. If the structure tells you the trend is up, then go long. If the structure tells you the trend is down, then I'm going short. Right now, the daily definitely tells me the trend is up, but with how strong down this is, it probably is going to break structure, and it probably is going to end up being a bigger move down. Maybe something like that before it goes up again. So that probably is what's actually going to happen. I would say that is very likely. The Euro Aussie. Yeah, let's finish up with the Euro Aussie. Mr. Wolf wanted me to look at. Let's see. I still think that on the higher time frames this is a big ABC and that this is eventually going to keep going up. That doesn't mean that we won't get some pullbacks, but I do think this is going up longer term. Which definitely makes you wonder about pairs like the Aussie dollar and the Aussie Swiss and all those pairs. But it looks like it's due for a correction, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 waves up. It's probably just like the other pairs. I bet, usually pairs trend at the same time and they usually correct at the same time. I bet the Euro Aussie is getting ready to correct and then go up again maybe in a week or two. So, yeah, that's definitely the end of a correction right there. I can already see without even going to the 1 hour. Impulsive down, break of structure, 3 waves up, and then impulsive down again. That's going down. And it might even go down and make like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. And then go up and make a B, and then probably back down again to make a C. So that is probably going to be a pretty decent little short. And why? Because we got 1, 2, 3, and not very clear trend, but the clear part is that it broke structure, probably a wave A, and then 3 waves up, probably a wave B, and probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type thing for the wave C. Or it could just be a 1, 2 like I was just showing. That's right, it could be just a 1, 2, and then it goes down, makes a 3, 4, 5, and this is only a wave A. Which does seem pretty likely looking at all the other pairs that this is actually only going to be a wave A of a much bigger ABC correction, probably an ABC correction on like the daily 8-hour time frame range, someplace in there. Make some sort of an ABC correction, I bet. So that definitely does seem like the most likely thing to happen for sure. So as usual, definitely like and subscribe to my channel. It makes a huge difference. Pushing my videos and my live streams out to new members. And as usual, if you haven't already, if you do not want to join my Patreon, that's fine, but definitely join my free Discord group. It's 100% free to join, no obligations to pay a dime. We have over 3,000 members now, so we're getting to be a very large community of traders. We have many traders that are willing to help out new people, especially. What it is, it's a community of traders willing to help each other out. So definitely check that out if you haven't done so already. It's a very great community of traders. So definitely check that out. As usual, definitely like and subscribe to my channel, and my next live stream will be on Wednesday at 2:30 UK time, and what is that? 9:30 US time. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the day, and as usual, happy trading.